Well, it seems that nobody tried to beat Plants vs Zombies 2 with only ice plants, so I have to be the first one because I'm an Iceberg, an iconic PvZ2 ice plant. It is the second challenge on my channel, which I want to make even better than the previous one, so I hope you enjoy it. But before we start, let's begin with the rules of this challenge. First, I can only use ice plants and no sunflowers. Second, no leveling up, and third, no power-ups. My rules aren't so strict, but I did my best to stick to them. Without further ado, let's begin our challenge. So, our journey began with a few tutorial levels that didn't contain any ice plants, but they gave us a chance to try a delicious taco. Unfortunately, that was the last time we tried it, so we have to move back in time to try it again. And that's how we appeared in ancient Egypt. Until day 4, we continued to learn this game and its features, but after beating day 5, we unlocked the most important plant of our adventure, and that is the Iceberg, the most important ice plant in the game. It is the Undying Classic and the nickname of my channel. With that been done, we have officially started our challenge. However, day 6 was the conveyor belt level, which we can't beat with only Iceberg, so that's a good chance to tell some good things. Did you know that monkeys enjoy snowfalls? The Japanese macaques are also known as the snow monkeys, so I'm not the only lover of snow on this planet. Day 7 contained lots of camels, like really a lot, and my main plant is a snow pea, which is bad at destroying the camel friends. Don't forget that the only difference between the snow pea and pea shooter is the freezing ability, as they have the same damage output. That already sounds painful, but it didn't stop me from beating the level. On day 8, I was annoyed by the Tomb Raider zombie, who spawned a ton of graves on my wonderful lawn. I couldn't forgive that, so I had to destroy all of them. Fortunately, that was an easy level. Day 9, it's time for snowballs. The mistletoe is a great plant, but the sunk cost is too high for me, so I can't even pay my bills for this month. However, thanks to my low-cost buddy who throws everyone around, I was able to save enough sun to purchase a single mistletoe, who became the main character of the level. Everything was going wrong on day 10 because my Cold Snapdragon lagged a bit, and his animation didn't play correctly. Yet, it didn't affect the damage output, so that's not a huge problem, at least for now. On day 11, I had to play with the pre-picked plants for me, so that's a good chance to tell you a good story. Ancient Egypt is a great world, filled with an interesting and unique content, but I still miss the atmosphere of 2013, when there were no gargantuars, no zombies, just pure hardness combined with an amazing key system. That was a good time. Day 12 was an interesting one because it was the first time we stuck with the Pharaoh zombie, so I wanted to test my snow beast against the walking box. Fortunately, I was able to beat that ancient coffin thanks to my new pal, the Frostbite, who is actually the newest plant in the family. If you like ice plants, that would be a great addition to your collection. On day 13, I understood how overpowered the ice shroom is, because it can one-shot a regular zombie. I guess I need to save him for the critical cases where I can't even beat a level without the ice shroom. That dude is a killing machine. Day 14 was just a usual level with a ton of different zombies and lots of graves. My main tactic for this challenge is kinda simple. It's a good old combination of Iceberg and snow peas, which allows me to save enough sun to prepare the defense for every lane on my lawn. Now we are one day closer to eating a delicious taco once again. Wait, banana phone? I like bananas. That's about day 15, on which we had to protect some sunflowers that were planted on the banana cells. That was the level of my dream, because for the first time in this challenge I had enough sun to build something better than a few columns of snow peas. This time I decided to beat that level using only mistletoes, and it worked so well that I was able to plant 5 of them by the end of the level. Day 16 was pretty boring, so that's a good chance to tell you another interesting fact. Did you know that the largest desert in the world is the Antarctic Polar Desert? Yes, Antarctica, which is covered with ice and snow, is the largest desert in the world. On day 17, my boy Iceberg controlled the column of cold snapdragons to do their work correctly, because they needed a boss who told them what to do, and Iceberg was the perfect plant for that role. Still, the animation was broken, but that didn't stop me from finishing the level. This will be the first last stand, there will be more lasts to come. With these wise words of Crazy Dave, we entered our first last stand level. Here I didn't prepare anything special except for the ice bloom, which sometimes helped me to stop huge groups of camels. I think that the camels were scared of my new ice blocks. Day 19. It's forbidden to plant anything on Dave's slime colonies. Wait, is that a secret ingredient of his taco? I don't want to know that. Besides, the level was quite easy and only buckethead zombies could make it a bit harder. Day 20. The taco is closer than ever. They still wanted me to defend those sunflowers planted on the banana cells, and I needed to use that opportunity. I decided to play with only mistletoes once again, because I love snowballs way more than bananas. Day 21 went pretty smoothly, as it was beaten with the help of the Frostbite, which randomly turns zombies into ice cubes. Oh, what a great reference to Minecraft, as someone needs to eat ice cubes, just like I do every summer because it's really hot in my region. On day 22 I had to fight with even more tanky zombies, and there were many of them. Yet it was a good hardness, a needed one. No zombie spam, just a combination of various enemies that try to eat your brains. The nostalgic feeling doesn't want to leave me, as each location reminded me of my childhood days when I spent hundreds of hours playing Plants vs Zombies 2, and each world was pretty special for me, with a unique design and zombie combination. Sometimes it's really hard to describe my feelings. Day 23 was a fight against the Gargantuar, which I won thanks to my favorite Iceberg Ledges, which didn't let the giant enter my lawn, and Snow Peas did the rest of the work to destroy the Egyptian Garg. Finally, day 24, my favorite last stand level in the game. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel and decided to play with Snow Peas, as I was sure that they could stop the entire zombie horde. De facto, it was the last day of ancient Egypt, because the fight with Dr. Zambas didn't contain any ice plants except for the Iceberg Ledges. Day 25 was beaten from the very first attempt, and I wish we could do it with only ice plants. Anyway, the key is mine, which means that we are moving to the Pirate Seas, another 25 levels, but now with even more ice plants. Here comes the Pirate Seas. It is the second world of our time adventure and another hope to find Dave's taco. So let's try to search for the dead man's booty. I thought we were trying to get back home and get your taco. But pirates, hang on to your parrots and peg legs. So that's how we started the first day of the Pirate Seas. It's one of the few calm levels where you can sit and enjoy the gameplay, feel the atmosphere, and look at amazing frozen zombies. I always found Pirate Seas really enjoyable because it seems to feel like a real time adventure, with ice plants playing an essential role in beating the world. Day 2 was quite similar to the first one, but this time we were introduced to a seagull zombie. I would suggest you to stay away from a flying dude because it's almost unstoppable. Not even the Iceberg Ledges can stop this angry bird. Just make sure to always have at least a single plant food to stop them all. On day 3 I felt some kind of deja vu, because it was a full copy of day 1. Yet, it's not a major reason to skip the entire level, so let me tell you an interesting fact about the snow. Did you know that a single snowstorm can drop up to 39 million tons of snow? I guess that's enough to build a giant pea shooter or snowy flopper. Day 4 introduced us to a buckethead zombie. Yet, the combination of snow pea and iceberg ledges was able to stop them because cones and buckets are forbidden on my ship. Not a single zombie can even think about getting my treasure. On day 5, I decided to have some fun, so I made Iceberg Ledges the captain of this ship, whose main goal was to observe the work of the Frostbite to ensure they spent 100% of their time defeating the zombies. Don't you still believe in the Iceberg Ledges supremacy? Day 6 was about freezing lots of different zombies, from swashbucklers to seagulls, who looks pretty funny when frozen. On this level, I started to feel the increased hardness of the pirate seas, because in ancient Egypt, the same levels were only at the end of the time adventure. At that point, the levels weren't unbeatable, but I spent a lot of time dealing with huge groups of zombies. On day 7, I understood how important it is to always have plant food with you, because it's only the proper way to defeat the barrel roller zombie. It's really hard for me to pronounce that. Anyway, after finding my new strategy against the canned imps, the level was successfully completed, and we received a map. To treasure, it says no zombies. Maps don't lie. We are gonna need a bigger boat, because Crazy Dave was wrong. It was a trap. Day 8 was the first level with the local pirate Gargantua. We did our best to save the treasure and the boat from a massive pirate attack. Unfortunately, it didn't contain any ice plants. Day 9. I guess we're back to our main strategy, but this time we had more water tiles than usual. However, it's better for us, because we can concentrate more snow peas on the main lanes to fight against the heavy zombies. The more I play this world, the more I start to love this snow pea. Day 10 was the first level with the 3 waves, so I decided to take some heavy boys with me. As you can see, the animation of Cold Snapdragon is still broken, but the damage output didn't change, so I don't worry about it. A long level is a good chance to share some feelings with you, so get ready to listen to me. Pirate Seas was always some kind of chill world for me, as everything was always so calm here, just like the local plants. It also looks like a real time adventure, where you have to search for the hidden treasure. Not every world can give me the same feeling, but Pirate Seas is one of the few that dives you into a special atmosphere. On day 11, I had to counter even more imps and seagull zombies. Besides that, it was a usual level, so let me tell you an interesting fact about the snow. Did you know that the most snow ever recorded in 24 hours in the United States was in Colorado in 1921, at 76 inches or 1.9 meters? Well, it's higher than 97% of the people in the world. That's really high. Day 12 was a coconut cannon minigame in which we had to destroy some seagull zombies. Back in 2013, the goal and the number of Angry Birds were way higher. That level annoyed me a lot in my childhood, so a few times I even asked my mom to help me to beat it. She also played PvZ2 a lot, but I'll tell you about it a bit later. Day 13 was the first time we encountered my worst enemy. No, it's not the pirate Captain Zombie, it's Popka the Parrot. He tried to steal my sunflower, but was stopped by the brave shot of Snowball by Mistletoe. And don't look at me like that for using the sunflowers, because it was the main goal of the level. Thanks to that, I was able to plant a lot of mistletoes and destroy Popka right after entering the lawn. It's low tide and the waves are coming in. Grab your water wings, we are going to get wet, as day 14 is the last stand level. There are not so many unique options available for me, so I made everything as simple as possible. I already knew that combining cold snapdragons and snow peas is a win-to-win strategy, so I wasn't surprised by the results of that battle. Day 15 began with a new, cool body on my lawn. I got him for free, so it's mine for the entire level. The zombie waves are getting bigger and bigger, but my snow piece can still hold them. On day 16, I had to protect some sprint beans, or did they have to protect me? I didn't solve that question until today. This time, I had enough sun to buy the mistletoe because of the sprint beans' help. I guess it was one of the easiest levels of the Pirate Seas. Day 17 was pretty fine, and here I discovered that Boingseta is unbelievably useful because it works just like a sprint bean. It's probably even better because it drops the entire lane of zombies into the cold waters of the Pirate Seas. I couldn't even imagine that Boingseta could be so useful. On day 18, I had to defeat some zombies with pre-picked plants. Unfortunately, the plant list contained no winter mint plants except for the Iceberg ledges, so it's reasonable to skip it. Day 19 was a sun-producing level, which I decided to beat with some spiky ice weeds. It was the first time we used such an interesting and unique ice plant in our time adventure. I wish we could use it a bit more, but the circumstances doesn't allow us to do that so often. On day 20, I had to produce some additional sun once again. Well, I guess that's a good chance to tell you how my mom played PvZ2. It was a long time ago, around 8 years ago, when we played together for the last time. We have been playing PvZ2 together since 2013, during the best era of this game. My mom was a really cool player, and sometimes she easily beat some levels that I found extremely hard. By the way, she still loves PvZ2 and enjoys what I do here on my channel. Put like on this video for my mom. You won't believe me, but day 21 was another sun-producing level, which I decided to beat with the help of the mistletoe because I love throwing snowballs at zombies. Here you can also see an impassable line of ice weeds who stopped all the weak zombies from eating delicious white snow. Day 22 is probably my favorite last stand level in the entire game, because here you can try countless strategies to defeat the imp cannons from a long distance. Just look how many frozen imps I got by the end of the level. What a great Minecraft reference. On day 23, I had to stop zombies from reaching the flower lane. You won't believe me, but Iceberg ledges saved me when I was one step away from failure. However, the rest of the level was quite boring because it was just a copy of one of the very first levels. Day 24 was about protecting sprint beans once again. I didn't find anything better than planting as many snow peas as possible. Fortunately, that worked. Especially under the winter mint, when all ice plants turn into a killing machine, and even the Iceberg ledges does. Unfortunately, day 25 didn't contain any ice plants, so the fight with the Dr. Zambas was pretty usual. Anyway, the key is mine, which means that we are moving to the Wild West, another 25 levels with the main goal of getting the winter melon. Get up, my cowboys! We are moving to the Wild West, a land of dynamite and frozen chicken. A new world means a new hope to get back Dave's Taco. So let's find out who is the sheriff of this town. Chance of taco 0%. The margin of error 0%. I guess that our chances are pretty high. On day 1, we've got a cool buddy to our team. This green little dude was pretty useful throughout the level. The rest of the work was done by a single snow pea that I decided to plant on a minecart. Railroad. What a great reference to Minecraft. Well, destroying the entire zombie horde with a single snow pea wasn't so easy, but I managed to do that. Day 2. Here comes the Dynamite Man. Fortunately, he wasn't so dangerous to us, as we were able to freeze everyone around. But what impressed me the most was the Buckethead zombie on the second level of the Wild West. Your bucket is too bright for such an early time. Day 3 can be described with only one phrase: old-timey piano music downloaded. All that I can say about this level is that zombies are dancing way better than I do. Even though it looks pretty funny, we see a full dedication to the process. Not even a cold mist of Snapdragon can stop them from flexing. And it looks like we opened a portal to Creeperland. My uncle Milo used to have one of these. He called it a boombox. Actually, that's close enough. I will allow it. And not okay corral. That was the best possible way to describe day 4, where zombies gathered in a corral to play catch with us. Unfortunately, this game didn't contain any ice plants, so we skipped it. The Wild West can't stop surprising me, because on day 5 I saw the toaster zombie. Sometimes he wants to hide the toaster from me, which only makes him weaker. I think he doesn't want to share his fresh made toast with peanut butter with me. The number of zombies on that level impressed me, as I couldn't imagine that so many of them wanted to share some taco ingredients with me. Oh, day 6 was the first annoying level of this challenge. The main idea was simple. I wanted to beat that last stand level using only mistletoes, which can sound pretty easy, but it isn't. The main problem wasn't even the amount of zombies, rather the piano man was literally a headache. Every time he entered the lawn, the zombies started dancing. Sometimes it helped me, and sometimes it created even more problems. On my first attempt, just a single zombie survived until the end. The second attempt wasn't so great, just like the third one. However, I turned my headache into a great tool on the first one. I used the piano man to group the zombies and then destroyed them. It allowed me to survive until the end and successfully complete that level. Like cow tipping, zombie tipping is best done from the side. Trust me, do not try to tip a cow from behind. Day 7 was a pretty usual level as for the Wild West. We saw some tinky zombies, witnessed a great landscape behind the lawn, and received an interesting piece of paper. It appears brains are outlawed around here. Quick neighbor, play dump. We will follow your lead, user Dave. On day 8, I had to survive a massive zombie attack. Well, compared to some previous levels, this battle wasn't so hard. Even though a few gargantuars entered the lawn, they weren't seen as a big threat, but rather as funny-looking farmers who escaped from the burn. Day 9 was another great experience, because I decided to beat this level using only winter melons. Because of the huge lack of sun and the high price of the winter melons, that might sound crazy, but it wasn't for me. I managed to save enough sun for a single winter melon and started using minecart like crazy, because I had only one melon against 5 lanes of zombies. Later, I bought a second winter melon, which made my life much easier. By the end of the level, I had 3 of them on my lawn, and not a single zombie could reach my lawnmowers. Honestly, I didn't believe that it was possible, but it was really possible. Oh no. Chickens are the worst enemy I ever faced. Day 10 was about searching for the best way to defeat them. They pose a huge threat to any ice plant, so we had to find a few solutions for different situations. Also, the boing setup wasn't so good, plant food was probably the best way to freeze the chickens. So, on day 11, I had to spend no more than 500 suns. It was the full copy of the first level, where I spent only 150 suns, so that was pretty easy. I guess it's a good chance to tell you an interesting fact about the ice. Did you know that the first refrigerators for homes were invented in 1913? It was a gigantic revolution, because the previous food-saving methods weren't so safe and easy to use. Day 12 was another not okay corral level that contained only lightning reeds with bloomerangs and no ice plants. I find this a major reason to skip the entire level. Day 13 felt like a tough nut, because it was a massive attack of bulls, toasters and creepers, who wanted me to lose some snow peas. They even tried to destroy me from the back of the lawn, but my old friend Hurricane saved me from the inner collapse. Well, I'm still not eaten. On day 14, I had to deal with lots of chickens and pianos. That was a pretty common level, so I guess it's a good chance to express my feelings about that world. The local music is an absolute banger that immerses you in the good old days of the Wild West. I also like the world's design and the atmosphere of the real-time adventure that it gives us. At the time when there were only 3 worlds, Wild West was my favorite one, and even today, it's one of the best worlds in the entire game. The local zombies also deserve a special mention because they produced a ton of memes on my channel. You know what, I love the Wild West. Day 15 was beaten using only Snow Pea. What an interesting fact about that level. Honestly, I don't have any other joke about the piano zombie or the upcoming horde of brain eaters. These levels can be tough nuts to crack, and I want to see the delicious creamy center. The point is not to crack them. That was an epic introduction to day 16 of the Wild West. So I had to protect Wally the Walnut and his banana cell minecart. Sometimes all you need to do is to throw a snowball on the toaster to make it work like an ice one. Does anyone want to try an icy toast instead of frozen chicken? Remember, the number is limited. On day 17, the Iceberg Lettuce was more useful than ever before because we had to stop the zombie horde from eating delicious flowers on the floor. I don't want to lie and say that it was an easy level, because it wasn't. I didn't replay it over and over, but the increase in hardness felt pretty much compared to the previous worlds of our adventure. Day 18 was the last end level, which is unbeatable with only snow peas because of the great amount of chickens and creepers, who didn't give me a chance to beat that level without a cold snapdragon. That dude is really cool. Day 19 was a usual level with some funny restrictions that I couldn't even reach because I don't use any kind of sunflower, so the number of suns I get throughout the level is limited. Fortunately, it's beatable with only snow peas. Day 20 was the final not okay corral level that didn't contain any ice plants. I guess you know the answer. On day 21, I had some nostalgic feelings about the Wild West, so let me share them with you. It was the final world out of the 3 original ones, and the end of the short-time classical era of Plants vs Zombies 2, without gargantuars, zombies, and a ton of overpowered premium plants. The game was as simple as possible, and I liked it. The strongest possible dude was the Bull Rider zombie, which annoyed me a lot over 11 years ago. So I decided to beat day 22 with only ice plants. This time it was way harder because we've got chickens. But on the other hand, we've got Iceberg Lettuce, whose plant food ability can easily stop them all. So I saved enough sun to buy some winter melons, and it worked. When something went wrong, I just used the plant food and froze all the chickens and the rest of the horde. Unfortunately, they got to one of my winter melons, but I managed to buy another one. Yes, I finished the level with a single lawnmower, but I did it on the first attempt. I was really proud of myself. Day 23 is unbeatable with only snow peas. Don't even try to do that, it's impossible. However, using the Frost Bonnet in combination with Cold Snapdragon will allow you to beat that level pretty easily. Sometimes I didn't even understand what was happening on the lawn. Day 24 was another major zombie attack. This time it was a question of protecting 3 Wallies simultaneously. The level contained every single enemy you can imagine, but even in such a bad condition, we managed to survive and protect everyone, even my snow peas. Chili Pepper also played a key role in beating the level because someone had to deal with such a great number of enemies. Now, I guess that the goal of finding Dave's Taco is closer than ever before. And we also received the final ice plant in our snow collection, the Wintermelon, the king of ice himself. Unfortunately, day 25 didn't contain any ice plants except for a few wintermelons, so the fight with the Dr. Zombies was pretty usual. Anyway, the key is mine, which means that we are moving to the Frostbite Caves. Another 30 levels, but this time without zombie freezing. Well, I guess it's time for the ironic part of this challenge, where ice plants will fight against the ice zombies. It is the fourth world of our time adventure, and another hope to find Dave's Taco. This time we will fight against funny looking ice cubes and the zombified version of the mistletoe. So let's find out who is the best snowball thrower. Brrr, it's colder than a polar bear eating an ice pop. We have traveled so far back in history, so we arrived in prehistory. Did you know that zombies can't freeze in the Frostbite Caves? On day 1, I discovered many things that weren't so obvious to me. At that time, I had a unique chance to try out some of my main strategies to find out the best one for such a unique world. Summarizing the first level, I can say that this world will be way more complicated than all previous ones. On day 2, I discovered that Snow Pea isn't immune to the cold wind of the Frostbite Caves. Let's just say that I was impressed by that fact, because I thought that all of the plants from the Wintermint family were immune to being frozen. At that point, I was still searching for the best way to deal with the frozen plants, because this problem would only increase over time. Day 3 contained a lot of spikes, fresh peas and cold winds of hurricane. Levels like these are a great chance to tell some interesting facts about everything. Did you know about the deleted minigame from ancient Egypt? Mummy Memory was a game about camels, where you had to find two similar symbols in order to kill the zombies. Unfortunately, some time ago, these levels were replaced with a basic one, making ancient Egypt a less interesting world than it was before. I miss the Mummy Memory. Day 4 was yet another level with lots of snowballs and prehistoric buckets. I decided to stay with the same old plans because there was no real need for strong boys who would clear the entire lawn in a few seconds. Nevertheless, thanks to its high reliability, I began to love Snow Pea even more. I'm starting to get cold feet about this place. Also, my feet are getting really cold. That's how we started day 5 of the Frostbite Caves. Unfortunately, it was a conveyor belt level without any ice plants. Mr. Floppa is sad about that. However, day 6 was an absolute mess. Thanks to the frozen sunflowers, we had a great chance to get some additional sun, so right from the beginning I started my special operation of melting the ice. Everything was going pretty fine until we passed the first wave, because the cold wind froze all the snow peas on my lawn right after that, and I had no instruments or plants to melt them. Thanks to the PopCap developers, I could pick only 2 ice brudas, so we had to choose some other plants on our list. Don't you find it strange that Snow Pea can be frozen, while Chill Boy called Snapdragon ignores everything? Sometimes the progress of the level was moving like a snow snail. Day 7 gave us a great chance to get additional support for destroying the snow zombies. Here comes the Split Pea, and today we will use both of his sides. This green little dude helped us a lot, as we could deal with the endless attacks of the tanky zombies. Does anyone know where did they get the cones in the prehistory? Cause I don't. On day 8, I had to punch zombies with the help of a bong chai. The level contained lots of peppers, cabbages, nuts and potato mines, but only a few hurricanes. They don't even give me a single chance to beat some levels with only ice plants. Day 9 was the first level where we stuck with the Dodo Rider zombie. It isn't so dangerous, but you always have to keep in mind that not a single lane is secured because of the giant pigeon. The rest of the level was quite simple, and I spent most of the time planting as many snow peas as possible. Boys, there are too many conveyor belt levels in this world. That's how we started the 10th day of our frosty time adventure. This time it was about pea shooters. Lots of pea shooters. I couldn't even imagine that the prehistoric zombies were big fans of fresh peas. I knew about day 11 long before we entered the world of giant pigeons and rocky buckets. This is often called the hardest day of the Frostbite Caves, so I decided to take some heavy boys with me because the available slots were limited. Did you know that the Frost Bonnet is an amazing choice for the Frostbite Caves? Cause I didn't. On day 12, we had to prepare a good and reliable defense because it was the last stand level. I tried to beat it with only snow peas for the first time, but that didn't work because of the cold wind. However, the second attempt went pretty smoothly as I planted a ton of cold snapdragons, which are immune to any zombie attacks and cold winds. Day 13 was about protecting the weird flowers. That was the turning point of this challenge because I discovered the hidden power of Boingsetta, whose main purpose is to quickly break the ice on every frozen plant on the lawn. I'm getting more and more excited about this plant as it opens to me from the best sides, so go and get the Boingsetta. Day 14 was yet another level with pre-picked plants, so I guess it's a good chance to share my feelings about this world. Frostbite Caves is not my favorite world, but it's not the worst one. When I play it, I always feel that I missed something. It's hard to explain, but this feeling doesn't leave me every time I try to enjoy it. The Frostbite Caves is one of the few post-classical worlds in PvZ 2 that I find unfinished, as I wanted to see some more unique mechanics and cool plants instead of the pepper pult. On day 15, we had a unique opportunity to combine fire and ice, as we had to protect some pepper pools from the funny-looking ice cubes. The first attempt wasn't so successful, as lots of dodo riders broke my defense right in the middle of the lawn. However, that's not a major reason to give up, as I always have another way to beat the level. That day is probably impossible for the snow peas, as the amount of heavy zombies is too high to deal with. So Cold Snapdragon is one of the few possible options to beat the level successfully. As you may see, the ice plants are unstoppable. After successfully finishing the level, we've got this. It looks like a stone plate with some prehistoric zombies. That doesn't look so good to me. Day 16 was the middle milestone of the STEM adventure, where we fought against the prehistoric gargantua with lots of imps for the first time. Besides that, it was a usual massive zombie attack that contained lots of different plants except the ice one. The world is truly unfair to us. Day 17 began with the frozen chart guards and fume shrooms. Thanks to the Boingsetta's magic abilities, we broke the ice in a few seconds. With the help of the magic shrooms, we managed to deal with the frozen imps and destroy the zombie horde faster than usual. I wish these prehistoric zombies would just go back to their caves. User Dave, perhaps it's time to try a new tactic. Day 18 was another conveyor belt level dedicated to stunning. Everything went pretty smoothly, except for the last few seconds, as Bloomerang and funny-looking orange couldn't do nothing to the enormous amount of ice cubes. On day 19, I used the magic Boingsetta once again. It was a good decision, as I immediately started using all the given plants in the best possible way. Just look how 2 double sunflowers can change the entire game by giving an additional sun throughout the level. Now you can fully understand how important it is to always have some sun-producing plants with you. Day 20 was played pretty much the same, but this time without any sunflowers. Yet with the help of the winter mint, a lot of unbelievable things can become possible. Oh, and it looks like we received a frozen hand with a bone inside of the ice cube. On day 21, we had to warm up the zombies and the lawn. With the help of the fire pea shooter, we made a cool barbecue out of the local zombies. I guess it reminds me something. Guys, look at that. Frozen guacadilles. I must turn back my avocado friends into the warm waters of the Big Wave Beach, and that was the main goal of day 22. Fortunately, they managed to escape the prehistoric ice stones and run away from the whistles, which are the local parodies of famous chickens from the Wild West. Day 23 was a great chance to plant lots of snow peas, as I had some pre-planted sunflowers that provided additional sun throughout the level, giving me a great chance to spend more sun than usual. It's hard to imagine the second part of the Frostbite Caves without Boingsetta, as it became the key plant at every level. On day 24 I had to produce some sun, but don't you think that I didn't make a challenge of it? Because I did. The main goal was to beat the entire level using only winter melons and the mistletoes as the attacking plants. If you think it was easy, no, it wasn't. The main problem was the cold wind, which froze more than 90% of my plants at some points, making my lawn vulnerable to zombie attacks. Did I tell you that I love Boingsetta? Because I do. It saved me so many times that I can't even count that number. Day 25 was a conveyor belt level, which at that point sounds like a joke, because there are too many of them in the Frostbite Caves, so I don't even have enough jokes, interesting facts or personal opinions to share with you. This world has squeezed all the juice out of me. On day 26, just a few sun shrimps made the entire level the day of my dream because of the great amount of additional sun. This level was once again about the great amount of snow peas in a combo with lots of Boingsettas. Day 27 was yet another challenge for me, as I decided to beat it using only mistletoe as the attacking plant. It was the hardest level of the Frostbite Caves, and a few times I was so close to failure because of the rutabaga, which is not the best plant you can find to defend. Even a hilariously looking gargantuar tried to reach my beat, but was immediately stopped by a few good thrown snowballs. Day 28 was the last stand level, and this time I used the winter melon to beat it. I had enough suns to purchase 5 of them and wait until the end to see what would happen with them. I failed a few times because of the cold wind, which can somehow freeze the winter melon, but once I learned the time codes of the level, I managed to complete it despite losing some lawn movers. On day 29 I had to play with the pre-picked plants, so we could easily skip that level. Unfortunately, day 30 contained no ice plants, so the fight with the Dr. Zambas was pretty usual. User Dave, our journey through time. You know that it's about more than just a taco. I suppose you are right, Penny, it's also about the ice plants. Anyway, the key is mine, which means that we are moving to the Lost City, another 32 levels, but this time with lots of additional sun.